Tonight, you will sit across from someone you love. At some point, one of you will yawn. Within seconds, the other one will too. You won't decide to do it. It will simply happen. But the real reason is far stranger than tiredness. Start with the obvious question. Why do you yawn at all? For decades, people assumed it was about low oxygen. Researchers tested this directly, having people breathe pure oxygen before yawning. Nothing changed. So what is actually happening? Andrew Gallup, an evolutionary psychologist who has studied this for years, proposed something simpler than oxygen. Your brain runs warm when you're tired or shifting between states of alertness. A yawn cools it down. The deep stretch pulls in cooler air and pushes blood to your face, lowering the temperature of blood flowing to your brain. You are giving your own mind a moment to cool off. That's interesting. But it isn't the strange part. The strange part is what happens when you watch someone else yawn. You already know the feeling. Someone across the room opens their mouth, and something in you responds before a single conscious thought arrives. This is contagious yawning, and it is one of the quietest mysteries in behavioral science. Here's what makes it strange. It isn't universal the way a true reflex would be. Roughly 40 to 60% of people catch a yawn this way. The rest don't, or rarely do. A real reflex doesn't care who you are. This one clearly does. Even babies confirm this. Children under about 4 rarely catch yawns at all. The behavior switches on gradually, alongside other social abilities. A study published in PLOS1 should reframe how you think about your last family dinner. Researchers tracked how often people caught yawns from strangers, acquaintances, friends, and family. The pattern wasn't random. The closer the bond, the more likely the yawn spread. Family caught it more than friends. Friends more than acquaintances. Acquaintances more than strangers. Your yawn is a measurement device. It quietly tracks who you feel close to. Why would evolution build this? Picture early humans resting together, long before agriculture or shelter. Survival meant staying alert at the right moments and resting at others. A yawn spreading silently through a resting group may have synchronized something useful, nudging a group's attention and fatigue toward the same rhythm rather than leaving it scattered. You can still see this today, and not only in humans. Dogs catch yawns from people they're bonded to, not from strangers. A study found dogs yawned far more after watching their owner yawn than after watching an unfamiliar person do the same. The bond mattered more than the species line. Sit with that. A behavior old enough to cross the boundary between species entirely. Your dog isn't being polite. Something genuinely ancient is firing when it watches you. There's a less comforting side to this. Researchers studying certain developmental differences in social processing have found contagious yawning is often muted in these cases, tied to the same systems that let you read someone's face without words. Later research suggested it may relate more to how closely someone attends to faces in general. Either way, catching a yawn requires watching another person closely enough to register the smallest signal off their face. It is not passive, which means your yawn is one visible output of a far older system built to keep you attuned to the people around you long before anyone had words for attunement. Here's where it gets stranger. You can try to suppress a yawn, clamp your jaw, breathe through your nose. Researchers tested this directly. The contagion happened anyway, building under the surface even when it never fully escaped. It isn't fully under your control, it's older than your control. So tonight, when you yawn half a second after someone you love does, understand what's happening. You aren't simply tired. You're part of a circuit of attention and bonding older than language, older than the wheel, older than almost anything you'd call modern. It moved through ancestors resting in open ground, watching for danger together, regulating alertness together, long before any of them had a word for what they were feeling. No ceremony marks it. No one points it out. It happens in under 2 seconds and gets dismissed as tiredness before the conversation moves on. Underneath sits one of the oldest, most reliable signals your nervous system has for telling you, without words, who belongs in your circle of trust. Next time you're with someone new, notice whether their yawn moves through you. It isn't proof of anything alone, but it's one quiet, ancient instrument, already taking a reading on how close the two of you have become. You think you just caught a yawn. What you actually caught was 250,000 years of your species learning, one shared breath at a time, who it could trust enough to rest beside.